again. I thought it'd be fun to make a video about products that I have used up almost entirely or all the way and tell you a little bit about my experience with them and would I rebuy it, basically, is the bottom line. Do I need it again in my life? So let's get started. So the first product I'm grabbing is the CeraVe Hydrating Cream to Foam Cleanser. This one's for normal to dry skin. I've gone through like 2 of these in the last couple years. Or so. This bottle, so this size bottle, oh my god. So this size bottle, I swear to God. This pretty much lasts me like 6 months if I use it even like every single day. I like this because I can go in on a makeup day or a non-makeup day, and I feel like it does break down makeup, even eye makeup, and it still leaves my skin feeling really plump and hydrated. However, lately I've been using an oil cleanser first, and this is really great at removing any residue oil from the cleanser and my makeup as well. So yes, when I run out of this in about probably 3 or 4 days, I'm definitely going to pick up another one because I feel like at this point I really need it. Next product is the It Cosmetics by Pores. This is the pressed powder in translucent. This is actually the second one I've gone through. And this one I actually did not even really buy for me to use. I bought it when I was doing freelance makeup. I just felt like this was the smoothest refining powder that I had ever picked up. I had put it on myself when I was an employee at Sephora. I tried it on myself one day. Like, I used to get ready at work sometimes before I would clock in to like try new things all the time, and I tried this and I was like, oh my gosh, like this looks so good. And I bought it for myself. I liked it so much I bought one for my kit, and then after not using my freelance kit for so long, I was like, I'm just gonna put it on myself again. So I finally used it up. I've been like brushing the edges. I just feel like this goes over any type of liquid on the skin, and it just makes everything set, last longer, smooth, and like a bit on the matte side. Even if I'm just wearing sunscreen that day, I can put this on top and feel like my skin, my hair is not gonna like stick to my face, so I rebuy it. I think if I ever do freelance again, I would absolutely buy it, 100%. I feel like I need it in my routine on other clients. On myself, I don't think I'm gonna rebuy it. As much as I really love it, I just feel like I have other powders in my collection that I really want to work through first before I get another powder, so sadly no. Next product, this is the Biozone Squalene and Marine Algae Eye Cream. I bought this in April last year. I remember vividly because I had the 20% off Sephora VIB Rouge coupon, and I had run out of eye creams all of a sudden somehow, and I was convinced that this one was going to be the best one I had ever tried. However, now that I have I've worked on it, like I said, since April, so almost an entire year. I don't use this morning and night every single day, but I use it at least like 5 times a week, and somehow like I cannot finish it. Like just when I thought like, man, like, you know, I need a new eye cream. No, I do not need another one. Probably for like another month still if I am like more sparing. Ultimately, I do not think I noticed any changes with this aside from just feeling hydrated upon application. I did not notice the claims of firmness, smoothness. I think it also claimed like depuffing and helping with dark under eye circles. I did not notice any of that. Maybe it's just because my under eyes are just like the way they are, but I do not think I'm gonna rebuy this. especially because the price point I think was something like $68, maybe a little more or less, but this one's a no for me. Okay, next up is the Blink Tubing Mascara this is the dark brown. So during the Sephora VIP sale in April last year, I picked up the Blink, I think it's called like the Volumizing Mascara in black, and I really liked it. That's kind of like what turned me on back to looking into tubing mascaras in general. And in December of last year, I had been given a couple of gift cards to Sephora, and I was like, oh, perfect. I'm just gonna get a few essentials, maybe some like big ticket items I don't normally get. And along with that, I picked up the original Blink mascara. And I was like, oh, this is gonna be in brown. That's great. I don't have any brown in my collection right now. So this one, I actually cannot stand. Something about this formula, it's like it glues my eye shut. Something funky. Like, it was fresh out of the tube, never been used. I remember on the first time I used it, all of my lashes practically fused together into one. It was really unusual. The wand doesn't look too different or too unusual. There's something about this particular tube that I think is kind of off. It doesn't smell weird or like feel weird, but I think I've only used this 5 times and I'm just gonna get rid of it at this point. So no, I am not rebuying this, and I do not recommend it, unfortunately. Next is a beloved product of mine. This is the Paula's Choice 2% BHA Liquid Exfoliant Salicylic Acid. So this is considered a toner. Some people would call it active because it has that salicylic acid. So it comes in this tube. What I do is I apply it in the morning right after cleansing. I put this on right away. I just pour it in my hands, kind of distribute it, and then I tap it into my face, let it sink in, and then I go in with my vitamin C and that kind of stuff. This is my second full tube. I think I go through a tube like every 6 months personally, just because I think I use it like 6 days a week. I find that this really helps with like congestion in the skin, pore size, and I know that other claims are like helps with oiliness. That's not really a concern of mine. But it smooths the skin tone, which I really appreciate, and I think that really helps. And I noticed that when I was off of this last year, I was like, oh, I'll try another BHA toner, and I ended up trying Naturium, their BHA. I was like, oh, how different can it be? I noticed zero difference with the Naturium, and I noticed as soon as I got back onto this one, it was incredibly different. Just texture of the skin and pore size refined. So highly recommend, and yes, definitely repurchase. I think I have like just a few more days worth. It's funny how a lot of products you buy at different times can all run out at the same time. So I'm like, oh, I hope there's a coupon coming up. This one is the Pacifica Coconut Cream Body Lotion. Electrolytes, coconut, and vanilla. And then below that it says de-stress, plant-powered aromatherapy, 100% vegan and cruelty-free, 5 fluid ounces. This one was a big surprise for me. I disliked it so much. Sorry if the lighting looks a little bit dimmer. It was getting extremely sunny, so I had to close some of the shade, so we're back. Okay, so let's see where I left off. On kind of a whim at Target online rather, because I was looking for a body lotion that was vegan, and this one popped up, and I was like, oh, coconut, like amazing. Coconut's one of my favorite flavors, scents, everything. Like if it's coconut, like I want to. And this is probably one of the least favorite body products I've ever tried. First off, the smell is not coconutty. It kind of has like a synthetic nut cream taste or a scent to it, and the texture of it kind of feels like milky at first, and then it doesn't really dry down at all. It just sort of stays on the surface, and it doesn't really like sink in, and it doesn't really moisturize me enough. So no, I will not be rebuying this, and I don't actually recommend it. Next is a funny one. This is the Dr. Bronner's Spearmint All-One Toothpaste, fluoride-free, 70% organic. We actually bought this on a whim once. We were out of our toothpaste, or, you know, about to run out, and we happened to be at Whole Foods getting groceries, and we were like, oh, like, let's just buy our toothpaste here, we might as well. And because normally I would buy it like at CVS or Walgreens because of points or rewards, cards, that kind of stuff. And we're like, oh, Dr. Bronner's, like, we like Dr. Bronner soaps, we'll probably like the toothpaste. And we brought it home, we tried it that day, and right away you notice there's a difference with the texture. Like, as soon as you line the toothbrush and you start putting it in your mouth, you notice it doesn't lather or foam like any other toothpaste would. We normally used to use the Tom's fluoride-free, I think spearmint is the flavor for that one too. And that one's a lot more like traditional, like a Crest or Scope or something. Anyways, this one doesn't do that, and it's a little bit weird at first because it kind of just like moves around. It doesn't get soapy feeling. Anyways, I really love this. I'm definitely going to rebuy it. In fact, I've already rebought it. And my boyfriend doesn't really like it, so he just uses the same one we used to use, the Tom's. But I highly recommend it if you're a toothpaste connoisseur and you're just wanting to try something new. Yes, going to rebuy. Well, speaking of powders, this one is the Maybelline Fit Me Loose Setting Powder in the number 5. I probably have like one use left in here if I can check it out. These are kind of annoying when you don't have that much product left because you have to kind of like aim it just right for it to fall through the sifter, and then you gotta shake it and shake it. Anyways, will I rebuy it? No. Reason being, well, one, I actually really liked this product. I think it smoothed, it mattified, and it really set product in place, which everything about that I loved. I think what I did not love was that it had a little bit of coverage in it, which most of the time I did not want. I just wanted it to be clear powder so that it just, you know, mimicked the color that was underneath. I noticed that when I put this on top of full coverage, it gave it even more coverage, and sometimes it looked like too much. And the other reason is I already have a lot of powders I'm still working on. Powder, I feel like, is just one of those things you can't go quickly enough through, and you always think like, oh, well, maybe I'll just try this new one. It might be even better than the one I already have, when in reality, they all fairly similar. So do recommend this for someone who's looking for a drugstore setting powder if they want some coverage, but I will not be rebuying it. Okay, next I have a perfume, and I know it's not empty, it's not even close, but I wanted to mention it because I found it in my drawer and I thought to myself, you know, eventually one day I'll run out of this, or I might even give it to a friend if they love it. But I feel like when it's done, I will not be rebuying this. One, because it's too intense for me. I think what I noticed is that when I put this on, I only need like half of a spray, and it's enough to get the full effect. This I would describe as an intense, sweet, sexy, gourmand kind of fragrance. Vanilla, caramelly, that kind of thing. It's almost masculine, and that's something I really like about some women's fragrances. They're kind of unisex, they're kind of dark and musky. However, this one's definitely like the most I've ever owned. This is like the kind where you put it on before a night out one day. If you're going to like a bar or a club and you're trying to get like someone to turn their head, this is a showstopper for sure. If you get like a little too sweaty, like this one will still smell good no matter what. So I do recommend it, someone who's looking for that in their perfume, but I would not buy it for myself personally, especially in warmer months coming up ahead. This is more of like a cool, cold night kind of feel. Okay, next item is the Bite Beauty Agave Lip Mask. This took me far too long to use up, mostly because I kept hoarding lip balms and thinking I needed a new lip balm instead of using what I already had. And finally, night after night, I just put it on, and bottom line is no, I'm not repurchasing this. Reason being, mostly the packaging. I really love this formula. I think it's dense and thick and really seals the lips in a way that like almost protects them from dryness. I would use this over top of a lip balm, something a little bit thinner, and then this one I'd put on top kind of like a seal. However, the packaging, you get it and it's a tube, and it's like a paint tube where you puncture the seal and it comes out and then you just use it. But if you're at a high elevation like I am, it's kind of like a game of keeping it in the tube, because as soon as you open the lid, it would kind of like spew out excessively, unfortunately. And as soon as you are applying it to the lips, you're like, oh, this is great. I don't need to, put it on with my finger. What happens is you're spreading it around with the applicator and it kind of builds up around the tip. You go to close it and then it kind of like gets gunky here. And on top of that, the packaging, if you even have a little bit of moisture on your hands, it kind of like comes off over time. So no, I will not be rebuying this. Okay, next is one that I never finish and I never will finish. This is the Purito Pure Vitamin C Serum, Hyaluronic Acid, 94%. This to me was a waste of money, unfortunately. I had tried the Purito Sunscreen that was heavily raved about, which actually turned out to be scandalous because of the wrong amount of SPF. Anyways, I bought this when I was picking up another sunscreen last year in like the summertime. And I bought it from YesStyle because they have a really unusual range of products that you can't really get at like Sephora or Ulta. And I was like, oh, I'm in the market for a new vitamin C serum. This one looks great. Ratings, reviews looked really good. And I use this probably like every day for at least one whole month. And then I kind of tapered off a couple times a week. It just felt like there was no difference. And on top of that, I noticed that the packaging wasn't actually protecting the volatile, ingredients, vitamin C. And so the product itself was like turning this kind of brown color that's on the lid. And from everything I know about vitamins like that, is just not a good sign. It means it's not stable and it's, not going to be really effective. So as sad as it is, I used probably about about half of it. And I wouldn't give this to a friend. I'm just putting it in the trash at this point. Next is a skincare product from CeraVe. From my earlier cleanser I mentioned, you can tell I'm a fan. I like the price point, I like the accessibility, and I like the ease of use. There's no added fragrances. It's very much what you're looking for, you get. So this is the Ultra Light Moisturizing Lotion with Sunscreen, Normal to Oily Skin, SPF 30. This is in a matte finish. Now, this one I actually originally bought for my boyfriend like 2 summers ago. Not this bottle. This is my second bottle. I bought it for him with intentions of him wearing it every day. I know, I was reaching. He used to walk to work every single day, rain or shine or wind or whatever. He used to walk, given it was maybe a 15-minute walk, so not crazy. But his little forehead was exposed to the sun every single day, and I, trying to be a helpful person, was like, oh, let me get you a product that you're going to wear that's going to protect you from, early signs of aging and cancer and all this stuff. So I had bought a few sunscreens for me in hopes of him liking one, and he didn't like any of them. He's very weird about texture. Anyways, I bought this one for him thinking, okay, it's going to be matte, it's going to be lightweight, and it's going to feel more like a moisturizer and less like a sunscreen. And at first he wore it and he was okay with it. Okay, sorry about that. I had to stop and wait for a while because my phone got overheated. And anyways, here we go. Back to this product. I think I would repurchase this if I ever run out of the moisturizer I have right now. Right now I'm working on a bottle of Valvoline as like my nightly moisturizer, and then a tub of Naturium's niacinamide gel moisturizer in the daytime, and then I kind of flip-flop back and forth. I liked that this was hydrating and it's set, but I would not call this matte by any means. It certainly does not have like a powder-like finish like matte things normally do. I do recommend this for someone who likes something lightweight, moisturizing, and with SPF 30. So, no, I'm not going to repurchase this in anytime soon. Speaking of sunscreen, this is the Neutrogena Ultra Sheer Dry Touch Sunscreen 100 Plus. Looks like this. I probably have like a week's worth left in here. So I wear sunscreen on my face and try to do my neck every single day, even if I'm inside, especially if I'm outside. Something I learned in my skincare journey is that, one, I'm prone to skin cancer being so fair. Two, I'm prone to early signs of aging because of fair skin. And three, I've spent a lot of my life in the sun without sunscreen. So when I would go to the beach as a teenager, I'd put some on at the beginning of the day. If I got sunburned, no big deal. If it turns slightly tan, amazing. Flash forward to me at 29, I'm like, oh, I'm in the sun for 5 minutes. I'm going to wither and die. So I feel like sunscreen has really improved my quality of like wrinkles around my forehead especially. And like I look at my dad has worked for the Postal Service for my entire life. And his biggest regret was he wishes he would have had better sun protection earlier in his career, because now he has so much, so many lines, so many like deep red sunspots that, you know, cannot be undone. So on the opposite spectrum, I am like inside, away from the windows. If I'm outside in the car, like I'm wearing my driving gloves, wearing my hats, like doing everything I can. A day at the beach now, I'm like, oh my, like, so anyways, back to this product. No, I'm not going to repurchase this product because I don't like the way it feels. When I was reading reviews, it was very split. Half of the people said, oh, it's totally lightweight, it feels untouchable, like, or untouchable, ultra sheer. And the other half were like, it's too rich, it's too thick, it's too creamy, never sets. That is the side I should have listened to. I think I was just eager because of the super high sun protection factor. I was like, oh, 100 plus. I don't have to reapply quite as often. Like this will be covering everything just in case I miss a spot. Like it's going to be great. This feels like you're putting a rich nighttime moisturizer on top of all your other skincare in the daytime that goes under makeup. It never sets. Every piece of hair on your head will stick to it. It has a super white cast. I would recommend this for maybe like a mom with a kid that just wants to make sure it's all safe and good. And they don't care how it looks, they don't care how it feels. Like it's just going to protect for sure. But me personally, I'm not rebuying. Back to lips. This is the Shy Girl Cosmetics Lip Oil Balm, I think it's what it's called. This is the packaging here. It's a little messy right now because I keep it in a drawer next to something that like rubs off on it all the time, so it just has like residue. But anyways, I am almost out of this little tubey, and I feel like I've only had it for like a couple months. I bought it I think in December from my friend Ashley. She has her own cosmetics line. Anyways, 100% would repurchase. This is incredible. Personally, I don't love lavender taste, so I might get, you know, another flavor or something. This feels so good. It feels in between the thickness of a lip balm and a lip mask. It really is that creamy, delicious, a little bit of oily slip. When I put this on, it just makes me want to keep putting more on. It's clear. But it just feels so good. It almost feels like you have a little bit of like ice cream on your lips. I know it sounds weird, but it is not, it doesn't taste like, you know, like sweet sugary stickiness or anything like that. I love putting it over lipsticks in case like something's a little too dry. It just kind of like revives it and makes it feel good. I put this on like a few times throughout the day just because it just feels so nice. So yes, 100% would rebuy. I might get like a tinted one next time to maybe like just add a little spice. And highly recommend. Okay, just a couple more items to mention. This one is from the brand Peace Out. This is their Puffy Eyes pack. You get 6 pairs of biocellulose under eye patches, made with ice plant stem cells and passion fruit extract. So in this pack, I have 1 pair left, and I think this expires in a month or so. I've had this for a little while. I think I've had it for maybe about a year and a half, this pack, just because I've been savoring these for as long as I can because I haven't really needed them the whole last 12 months. So what it is you tear this package open and you put on these little eye puffy, you know, packs. Honestly, these are the second best I've ever tried for under the eye. I feel like they kind of feel weird at first because they're slimy and wet and like they feel like they don't belong. So I like to put them on as the last step of my like morning routine for skin, and then I'll do like my eye makeup while those are sinking in, and by the time my eye makeup is done I can peel them off. All the moisture in the pack is pretty much gone. You throw those away and then you can continue the rest of your base makeup. Now would I rebuy these? They're kind of expensive honestly for just 6 pairs. I think I would though. I think they're worth it. My absolute favorite ones I will not buy. They are from the Shiseido. They are the like retinol eye patches. Those are sensational. They will like take off a few years off your life in a few minutes. These ones I feel like do close to that. They might take off like, you know, a puffy look from like a bad night's sleep or like too much salt or something from the day before. So yes, I think I would rebuy them, but not for a while. Not until like I need them for like something special. I used to keep them in my kit, a different version. I used to keep eye patches in my kit to like help prep for eye makeup. I know a lot of people have problem with like their under eye area. So anyways, yes, I'll rebuy them again one day, I'm sure. This is the Super Goop Invincible Setting Powder, 100% mineral and sweat resistant. This is one of those powder sunscreens, and you can see I have a bit left. It used to be full and then some. I will not rebuy this. It is not effective in my personal opinion. What I would love is to just use like this powder alone, maybe put it like on a tissue, take my powder brush or a puff and then apply it that way, because the way that this little brush is made is you're supposed to tap upside down until enough product has come out. And for me, it's like, how do you know enough product has come out and it's going to be evenly distributed? I used to sell this often at work because I thought it was so innovative until I actually owned it, and then I was like, this is no good. So what I'll probably do is I'll just keep this powder and then just use it as a setting powder to use up, but I will not rebuy. Okay, next up is this little tubey running low. This is the Carousel Intensive Foot Repair. I bought this actually a long time ago. Well, this is actually my 3rd tube of this. It's amazing. I will be rebuying, I'll just tell you now. This was a recommendation from another YouTuber, Dr. Dre, Andrea something. She had recommended it as an alternative to like scrubbing your foot. It's kind of like a reparative gel that you put on your feet. You put on like some, you know, socks that can handle it, and then you do that for a few nights in a row, and it super works at getting rid of those like thick callousy spots that have just accrued over time. Yes, I will rebuy. I usually go through a tube a month or so not too frequently. Highly recommend. Okay, I have another perfume. Oh, I have 2 perfumes left actually. One is from the brand Floral Street. This is the Wild Vanilla Orchid Eau de Parfum, and then the other is from the brand The Seven Virtues. This is their Vanilla Woods. Okay, I'm a pretty big perfume lover in general. I have a lot of perfumes. I want a lot of perfumes. I wear a lot of perfume. These are some of my absolute favorite perfumes I've ever owned. This one's my second bottle of the Vanilla Woods. I love this. I should really just get a bigger bottle at this point. This is the perfect combination of vanilla and sweet that's not too heavy, but it's still rich. This is like my ideal perfume. It's a little too rich for warmer weather, I will say. It is more of like a fall winter scent, but I still wear it when it's hot out. I love this perfume. The other one is new to me. I just have a little sample of it. This one I would rebuy if I had maybe like a gift card or something. I'm trying to get out the last droplets. This one is sweet, floral, and a little bit edible quality tasting to it, that vanilla. It's a lot lighter in scent than the Vanilla Woods. This one's like a rich, kind of sexier one. This one's like a sweet daytime, maybe like go to work kind of scent. Both have like that vanilla gourmand flavoring to it, which I have learned to love. I used to never really like vanilla growing up, and now I love it. So yes to both. I'll just put these lip balms all together. The Paula's Choice SPF 50 lip balm, the Rare Beauty Nearly Neutral liquid lip balm, I think it's called, and then the Milk Kush lip balm. I used up the Kush, I think it's called like Dragon or something. They're like just clear lip balm, and this is one that came in a set. This one is the bubble color. In short, no, I will not rebuy. It didn't do that much of a difference. Yes, I will rebuy. This one was like a free sample with purchase. This is the teeny tiny one. Amazing. It really is like the Shy Girl Cosmetics lip oil, but this one's a little bit less oily and more balmy, and it has a beautiful color to it. So yes, the Paula's Choice one, I haven't decided. It really does taste like sunscreen on your lips, and it doesn't feel that amazing. I think this would be the kind of lip balm I like keep in the car. Well, not the car, it might melt, but like in my purse as like a just in case. I wanted it because the SPF 50 sounded great, and then I started wearing masks when I was outside, so I didn't really need that. So probably no, but maybe. I heard they reformulated actually and repackaged. And this is that thing that's been rubbing off in the drawer that was getting on my other lip stuff, so that's that. Okay, 3 more, I swear. Okay, this is a deluxe sample I got from the Hourglass website a year ago, like last May. This is a sample of the Vanish Stick Foundation in the color Shell. This is a cream foundation that has sheer, medium, and full coverage depending on how much you apply. Now, the shade was way off for me. This was like 3 shades too dark, I'd say. However, for a cream formula, this is really beautiful. I love that you can manipulate it to, your preference, and that it still looks lifelike and skin-like. I can see this being like a wedding day kind of formula. Anyway, so bottom line for this Hourglass stick foundation, I think I will rebuy the full size one day, probably not for a long time. I think it's like in the $55 range, and I want to make sure I get the right shade, but yeah, I would rebuy this, absolutely. Okay, last 2 items. The last one is, or second to last, is a facial razor. This is, I think, the Sephora brand. There's nothing written on it. It comes in a pack of 3. And this is the kind of little razor you're meant to use on dry skin, like you hold it tight and like you shave. This is my second, actually maybe my third pair or third pack that I had bought over the years. I don't think I'm going to rebuy these anymore because I think that what I used to love about the facial razor effect, like smooth baby skin, I think now something's changed and my skin does not like it and does not want me to do that anymore. So I'm not going to rebuy this, but I do recommend this if someone's looking for like one more thing to step up their skincare routine, I think having like a little less baby hair on the skin can really make your products work a little bit better. Yes. Just because it's on a little bit of a more smooth canvas. However, that being said, once you start, I will say it's really hard to stop because you start getting a little bit of regrowth and you're like, oh, I just gotta, you know, shave my little cheeks. Before you know it, every week, I gotta just, you know, just shave my cheeks. It just becomes a process and it just adds one more thing to your life. So just be warned. The last thing on my list, the OC Red Algae Mask. This was highly raved about by another person on YouTube named, her handle's Hey Khaki. She does a ton of really great reviews of high-end, low-end, mid-range, independent brands, super mainstream brands. She does really in-depth reviews. I love her content. She had raved about this mask because she went to see an esthetician in Texas where she lived at the time, and they had to use this brand, and she just loved it so much that she bought it. And she said she ended up, I think, rebuying it because, you know, she just loved the effect. So anyways, what this is, it's kind of like a clay mask, but it has AHAs and BHAs, so surface exfoliation and in the pore exfoliation. It purifies. It's meant to balance blemishes and decongest. I use this probably twice a week because I really love the effect it gives me. At least once, at most twice. I even get Zach to wear it and or use it when I remember. And I think it works so great. You put a really thin layer on clean skin, you let it dry for about 10 minutes, you rinse it off. It doesn't burn or sting, but it just cleans out pores, evens out texture, and if you have like maybe like hormonal time of the month coming up, like it really just reduces all of that. So when that runs out, I will absolutely be rebuying, but I think I probably have like 4 more uses in there. Now we are at the end of the video. I appreciate you for taking the time to go through my pile of garbage. It's been fun for me to kind of evaluate what my thoughts are on these products and whether or not, you know, they're worth rebuying again. I would love to hear 1 or 2 products in your life that you are running low on that you are desperately going to rebuy or are going to just throw away and never think about it again. So, yes, I know. Thanks again for spending time with me, and if you have any ideas for what you want to see next, just shoot me a comment. Thanks again, and I'll see you next time. Come here. Meow to the camera.